Hello everyone. So today we will be discussing experiment number 3, and the object of this experiment is to determine the value of J using calendars and Barnes method. Okay. So J is essentially the Joule's coefficient. So now let's see actually what we require. We require obviously the calendars Barnes apparatus, or which is also called the calorimeter, constant label water tank. So here is the apparatus, as you could see. This is the calendar Barnes apparatus with this water flowing arrangement. So the water, as you could see, is coming through the tap over here. Okay, and the excess water, as you could see, actually that would flow out from the other tap into the sink itself. You could see I had put actually a clipper out here that could control the rate of flow of water. Okay, so I could essentially either loosen it or tighten it, so that will be that through that I will be able to control the speed or the rate of flow of water. Okay, let's see what else do we require. We require 2 thermometers. As you could see, I have put in fact both the thermometers on the right places. Within this actually we have a heating coil, okay, that heats the water. So essentially the water will come through this particular, so when I switch on in fact this thing, then the water will come through this through the tap over here, then it will heat over here, and then ultimately it will flow out. Okay, and this is what actually I can control. In fact over here I could control the flow, and if I increase the rate of flow, then the water will get lesser time to heat up, and if I decrease the flow, we will have more time to get the water heated. So I could essentially control effectively the temperature of the water by changing the rate of flow of the water. Now, other than this, what I need an AC meter, a voltmeter, a stopwatch. Stopwatch I think I am missing right now, so you will be of course given with the stopwatch as well, and the cylinder, and of course actually a step down transformer. Okay, so what we need to do actually into this experiment, of course we have a rheostat as well. So now what I will do, I will switch on actually over here, flow the water from this tap. Okay, and so the water has started going in over here, so it will get filled. As you could see actually some water is coming over here, and then other than this you could see actually the water is passing by this. Okay, this is going over here, and now you could see actually I had applied some voltage. In fact I could control this voltage as well. Okay, you could see in fact it is getting reduced, and then water had, of course, because we are passing actually the current to this coil, so it will heat up, and after getting heated the water will pass through this. So now I will try to control, number one, I will fix my voltage into this coil, or current into the coil. So for that I need to in fact change the value of current or voltage in fact through the rheostat. I will in fact let me see actually how much maximum it could do. Okay, so this looks like it could go up to perhaps 8 or 10. So maybe what I will do, I will set it to, for example, over here. So I essentially need to take 2 readings. Okay, so this is my V1, this is about 5 or 6 volt. Okay, and similarly I will record the corresponding current, which is about 0.7 ampere. So these currents will be recorded into this table. You could see I need to record the temperature T1 and T2 later. B1 and I1 will be recorded, and after that what I will do, I will try to loosen or tighten this particular clip in such a way that the rate of flow of water is such that right now it's quite fast. So I will do I'm essentially trying to tighten it up. Hopefully you are with me. This is very difficult because I'm using one hand to make this video, but anyway, you could see I'm still trying to control it. Okay, let's wait. First I need to tighten it up. All right, so looks like this is somewhat like this. So I will keep checking, keep monitoring essentially these thermometers, okay, readings, and I will, if for example the temperature starts shooting up too much beyond the original, the difference of 4 degrees between the two thermometers, I will maybe increase the rate of flow. If it is lesser than 4 degrees, the difference between the two thermometers, then I will in fact reduce the flow. So ultimately so I will wait for 10 to 15 minutes. Once the temperature difference between these two thermometers gets constant, I will switch on my stopwatch and keep collecting this water into some measuring jar, and I will in fact for a definite time using the stopwatch. So I will keep checking the readings of the stopwatch, and on the other hand I will be keep collecting actually the water over here. So what I will do over here, I will also record the time. For example, it could be 120 for example seconds, and then I had collected certain mass of water, so I will record those values over here. Okay, so this will complete first part of the readings. In a similar manner, I will change the voltmeter reading again. I will increase maybe the current. So increasing the current means more current passes, means heating will be more, so that means I need to increase the rate of flow also little bit more. And again I will repeat actually the whole procedure. I will record the B, I will record the I will make the temperature, adjust the flow in such a way that the temperature difference is again 4 degrees Celsius. Again, once this is stabilizes, I will put the measuring jar over here and I will collect the water again for 2 or 3 minutes. And once again, I will record those readings. Those will be B2, I2 and the T2 and M2. So I will record those readings again over here, and I will also keep track of the temperature difference θ1 minus θ2, which should be actually 4 degrees. So once I have everything in, I can use this formula V2 I2 minus V1 I1. Whatever is larger, I will subtract smaller from the larger times the time. So time should be the same actually in both the cases. As you could see, I didn't write T1, T2, it is just T. Then the difference of masses upon difference of the temperatures θ1, θ2, which is 4 degrees. So that will immediately give you the value of J, and then you could actually compare it with the standard value, and comparing it you could find the percentage error. So this way you will be able to complete this whole experiment in fact, and of in fact determining the value of J. Okay, so thanks a lot.